Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I've got another action figure review for you today, and we are going to look at the Rocket Troopers from the Star Wars Black Series line. Obviously just released kind of the same design as the Imperial Jump Troopers, same sort of gist, but this is just obviously from Battlefront 2. So we're going to jump into it. If you're new here, do subscribe to the channel and leave a like if you enjoy the video, and there'll be plenty more to come. So let's get started. What's going to come in the box? So as you can see, we've got two of our Imperial Rocket Troopers here, looking absolutely awesome. All he's going to come with in the box, other than this kind of jetpack assembly that is already attached to him, is his blaster, which has a nice little holster, as you can see. Which is cool. It's something that's not really seen on the Troopers anymore. It was on the old school kind of like Disney exclusive one, but it wasn't white, so that's nice that it's white, so it blends in. In terms of weapon, you're going to get the single blaster. It's just the standard Stormtrooper blaster, just moulded in black plastic, and then a little bit of a a silver wash on there. So it is technically black and silver, but very small amount. Apart from that, you're not going to get anything else. In terms of, it's a rocket trooper though. I mean, do you need anything else? I mean, like, take a look at this guy. It looks awesome. It's just like we talked about before. It's a trooper. It's a stormtrooper. You can't go wrong with a trooper, and they look awesome every time, whether you want 1 or 100. It's completely up to you, but these guys look awesome, and I thought I'd get the duo, I'd get the pair. As you can see in the back, looking very good. They've got lots of presents. In terms of the design, I mean, they've nailed it from the comparison to the games, from Battlefront 2. Also kind of like the reference material of like the jump troopers from Rebels, that kind of thing, the Imperial jump troopers. And the Imperial Rocket Troopers are no different. They are looking awesome. I love the helmet. In terms of the design, I like that they've got the Imperial logo on the pauldron of the shoulder, the jetpack with the piping, the helmet that's kind of like a hybrid between like the regular Stormtrooper helmet and kind of like an AT-AT driver / also like a TIE pilot. So it's kind of they've worked some things together, which is cool. So in terms of paint application, this one at least looking pretty damn good. As we talk about with Stormtroopers or just troopers in general, typically when they're just white and black, that's hard to get wrong, but we still want Hasbro to knock it out of the park. And to be honest, they have here. You could look at the kind of joint areas and say that there's a little bit of a bleed here and there, but to be honest, not really. Not in a way that looks out of place. In terms of the armor plate and the detail, like, again, it's all mold work, so it's all molded in white or black plastic, but kind of like in the mid-drift area, and the in the belt, it's molded in this white plastic, and then more of the build is just molded into shape and printed in the same color plastic it needs to be, and then you've got only small parts that have the actual paint application. But where they've got the paint application, like the emblems as well, the Imperial emblems look really good, and obviously the helmet, which is the main piece of this figure, that looks fantastic. They've absolutely nailed it. They've got the kind of stripes going on the top, as you can see. Looks very good, and then they've got the classic the blue stripes and the grey stripes on the sides, the visor, and the little bits of grey for the kind of mouthpiece at the front. So in terms of design, looks really cool. Looks exactly like the the Battlefront 2 trooper himself, and the paint application, they've nailed it. So always good to get a trooper that it looks as awesome as this, and then also obviously when you get a paint application that comes out spit spot, that's really good too. Obviously you're going to get some sort of bleeding here and there. If I can get this into focus for you, you're going to get little bits of bleeding every now and then, but I mean they're tiny imperfections. This trooper still looks awesome. Moving on to articulation. Now the the rocket trooper is actually very well articulated. It's surprisingly so, actually. Obviously, we'll move on to this in a minute, but in the head area you are going to struggle for articulation, but the rest of the figure really does make up for that lack of movement. But in terms of the movement, from the ground up, I mean, look at this. If we start here, if I can get this into focus for you, I mean, that toe point is the best toe point I think I've seen. Excuse me. I think that's the best toe point I've seen on a Black Series figure. When you go toe to sky, I mean, that is the best toe to sky I've seen on a Black Series figure. It's got the classic roll your ankle pivot, which is really nice in terms of the knees and the legs, double jointed. So again, obviously fantastic. You've got really good movement in the ankles and really good movement in the legs. So great start. In terms of the hips, again, he's got this kind of open ball and socket here, so he can get into pretty good split, and he's not hindered by any armor falling down. So obviously the belt on the holster is this kind of rubbery material, so it means that it can move nice and freely, which it means it doesn't obstruct the legs, which is nice. He will come up to 90 in the front, which is really good, and he will come backwards as well, and as I said, come sideways. So he's got a really nice range here, so you can get him into really dynamic poses, so that's really good. In terms of the lower torso, that's fixed. You can see some of the detail work there. That's just all moulded and fixed as the core of the body, and then this upper torso is the bit that moves. And in terms of the torso, you get classic trooper, you get a good side to side bend, decent ab crunch, and a decent back bend. Not fantastic because of obviously the kind of jetpack and the head and stuff. He can't look forward and back as much, but obviously with the legs being like that, you can really bend him into these positions to make up for the fact that he can't move his head as much. And again, same that way as well. So that's really good. In terms of the arms, the wrists have the just the standard, they curl in, which is nice, but they will go 360. So very good on the hands. They're quite pliable hands. So like here, you can probably see, if I get this into focus for you, you can move those fingers pretty easily, and they'll just, if I can get into focus, and they'll just curl back in, which is nice. In terms of at the elbow, you can see again we've got double joints, so his bicep curl is really good. Obviously, if you pair that with curling the wrist in, that means that, sorry if I can get into focus for you, you can get a really good curl on that, and he can sort of grab his piping or something like that, which is cool. In terms of at the shoulder, this kind of bigger pauldron is rubbery, so it will go up over the torso armor. However, it does, because it's quite big and chunky, does hinder him, so he kind of gets to 90, but not really. Obviously you can pivot the actual the bicep, which is nice, separate to the shoulder. So if I can get that into focus for you, you can see that this pivots, which is nice. It means that you can get a nice actual curl, bicep curl up that way, rather than having to rotate him completely, which he will also do. So it's a smart use of some articulation in the arms to separate it into 3 different parts: the forearm, up the bicep, and the shoulder. So that's really good. In terms of the helmet, obviously it's the best looking part of the figure. It looks awesome. However, because of these pipes that are fixed and the jetpack, you are obviously going to struggle and hinder the articulation a little bit. The jetpack does just pop off. It goes in the just peg there, just single peg. Excuse me. So in terms of the piping, that doesn't come away from the helmet. You get movement side to side, but it is quite a big helmet. I don't know if you can see, but the helmet arcs down a lot more than the regular Stormtrooper helmet. It is a lot bigger of a helmet, kind of like the AT drivers and TIE pilots. They've got that big helmet kind of design. So even when you want to look to the side, that's as far as he'll go, because his helmet, if you can see, his helmet kind of gets stuck. You know, it can't really come up over excuse me, can't really come up over the shoulder. So he does have a good side to side range of motion in terms of it moves nice and freely, looks up and down, not too much up because of the, you know, of the jetpack here, but he does have the kind of chicken head a little bit to help him with that, and then obviously you can kind of really push him forward like this to really get a chin to chest. So in terms of, you know, you can see here in the back, you can see that joint allows you to push forward quite a lot so that he can really go forward. And if I can get that into focus and really go back, so there's a good design here, considering, you know, what they're working with. They've not lost anything in terms of the look from the design to get it to articulate the way it does. I think they've actually nailed you know, the two aspects together in terms of articulating the figure, but not, you know, not losing any of the presence or the look or the design. I think that it looks fantastic. So in terms of versatility, I mean, like we've talked about, it's a stormtrooper. You know, troopers are the ultimate Star Wars character because they're everywhere and you can use them in so many different ways, you know, and just having a variant is awesome. So really happy to have this. In terms of, you know, what era you can use it from you know, from your display point of view, you can put it in all sorts of places. Like I say, it's a stormtrooper, it's welcome everywhere and it fits everywhere. In terms of you know, toy photography, like for me and my purposes, again, so transferable. You could use it in a shot with Rebels, the Clone Wars, you know, transitioning to the original trilogy. You can use it in, you know, the original trilogy sort of shots and the Mandalorian, that sort of thing, and just, you know, have fun with it and just be creative. Obviously, I mean, take a look at this. You know, this guy looks absolutely stunning, looks awesome. You know, I mean, the design of stormtroopers is always something that people love, and, you know, me especially, I love stormtroopers. They're one of my favourite designs in the Star Wars kind of universe, but obviously they're not always the most formidable of warriors, but they look cool, so at least they get points for that. So in terms of versatility, you know, they're really up there. These guys looking awesome together. So yeah, I mean, it's, you know, awesome figures, and I definitely think that they're worth a pickup. You know, I think that stormtroopers just are the best sort of bang for buck because they're so usable. They typically are, you know, they're well articulated, they look awesome, they hold their value too if you're worried about that, and yeah, it's always nice to have new additions. You know, like, I mean, I was watching Jedi Patrol recently talking about the 6th scale artillery trooper that will be released by Hot Toys, and it'd be nice to get one of those in the Black Series line. You know, sort of featured from the Mandalorian, stuff like that, like the Incinerator Trooper. It's just really nice to have variants because it's just really cool. And from a toy photography standpoint, like, it's really nice to have versatile characters. I mean, I know people out there custom and stuff like that, but it's really nice when we get one released in box that, you know, that was the intention of the design from the outset. Also, as well, when we've seen these really cool adaptations of characters or, you know, armor and designs in the movies, it's, you know, it's nice to actually finally see them come to life in the action figure form. So well done Hasbro and the Black Series for adding these guys to the lineup. So in terms of an overall score, I think I'm going to give these guys a solid 9. I mean, I really like them. I thought that they'd be kind of basic, you know, I thought that they'd be kind of just stormtroopers with a different helmet and a jetpack, which to a degree they are, but they are very well articulated, kind of incorporating the old kind of style of body for the stormtrooper, but then with a new helmet, new pauldron, and stuff like that. So really awesome. Definitely think you should pick one up if you can. So that's going to do it for me, guys. Do subscribe to the channel if you enjoy this content, for plenty more to come, and leave a like on the video if you enjoyed. I hope it was informative. So I'm going to leave you with that, guys. Take care, and I will see you in the next one.